I think when I was little, I just had this dream that I was going to do whatever I wanted. And that sounds so simple and childish, like every kid is like, I want to do what I want, but it meant something to me. I grew up with a family that was really poor, and they put a high premium on happiness and sort of finding that thing that makes you really happy and then trying to immerse yourself in it as much as you can. I'm embroiled right now in my most challenging physical struggle. Trying to climb Everest without using supplemental oxygen is enormously challenging. I get asked all the time by people, are you done? When are you going to be finished? And it's a little complicated because I interact with the mountain to challenge myself personally. And, I've now spent 7 years of my life working on this goal. So when I'm training at home, I will wake up in the morning and I hike, and then I go to the gym and I'll eat my first meal around noon. And I'll really put myself through that endurance workout without adding any fuel in. And that really closely mimics what I might find on a very long endurance day climbing in the mountains.
My name's Ben Jones, and I'm a mountain guide and climbing partner with Melissa. My role in this expedition is to help as she's trying to do this incredible ascent with no oxygen going up to 29,000 feet.
Over half of it is mental training, and all of those times where, you think, oh, this hurts, I should stop. And then you find out, that's just your mind. It's just your mind telling you that, and you have to find a way to work through that. I just really revel in my day-to-day life here in Idaho at my house. I live in Sun Valley. It's a beautiful mountain town, and it feels, much like everybody knows everybody. My best friend, Annalise, she has a daughter who's 7 now. That's perfect. And some pole baskets.
I see Melissa about 3 or 4 times a week. She'll stop by, we'll have dinner.
You totally got it.
I'm proud that she can push herself and climb to the top of Everest and do all these good things that I don't think anybody else could do. I just imagine me climbing to the top of Everest with Melissa and pushing myself with her.
I know that Melissa comes and goes, and I don't have any expectations of how she should be. I just accept when she's here, we have a great time, and when she's gone, I understand she's working, and that's just kind of it.
Oftentimes on these really long expeditions, little simple comforts are so important. I would love to just bring my hot tub from my house and put it at base camp. I'd be the most popular person at base camp for sure. I feel like I look into my little cup of hot water and I'm like, if there was just a way I could get inside of this cup of hot water. For me, that's one of those comforts that's just irreplaceable. I wish I could take it with me everywhere. I think I started out at some point thinking I'd be able to teach people about this joy that I get, but the more I spend my time out in the mountains, the more I am isolated from people. And, I've had my personal relationships just fall apart because of that, because I've been chasing my dreams, and the biggest mental challenge that I always have to deal with is balance. And I think that's probably something a lot of people could relate to. I like to be able to pack up and go wherever the wind's blowing at a moment's notice. You don't have to hang pictures on the wall for it to be home. I grew up with a very atypical existence. Me and my sister went to school on the Southern Ute Indian Reservation, and we were some of the only white kids at the school. And so I think right off the bat, for me, I was a minority. Now I look at my life and I'm a minority as being the lone female in a world of mostly males. The trips that I go on tend to have such high risk potential. I really have to be centered in where my motivation's coming from. You know, do I really want to be doing this? This is an altar that I have set up in my house, and I built it after asking some of the Sherpa that I work with what sort of things would be respectful to have. And I have this beautiful painting that's a meditation painting by a monk. And piled all on top of the Buddha here are these necklaces. They're called sungdaes, and they're blessings from lamas to keep us safe while we're climbing and just keep us safe generally in life. I keep this picture of Chuang Nima, and he's my friend and Sherpa who was killed while climbing with me, and I just like to keep this photo. In 2010, when I was trekking in the Khumbu area around Everest, I met up with my friend and I asked him if he wanted to go and climb a peak called Barunse. And so we went on an expedition together. And on the summit push, he was on top of some ice on the summit ridge and it collapsed. And an ice avalanche happened, and he was swept away and killed. And that moment changed my life. And it was just the two of us. And when he died, I was alone. I would have rather have died than had to go to his wife and his two sons, who were, 13 and 14, and tell them that he wasn't coming back. Out was the hardest day of my life. And, that was 5 years ago. I miss him, and that'll never change. I should stay, huh? You don't think I should go? Who's gonna walk you? The mountain conditions that we're gonna experience on this trip are going to be extremely variable. We could have very high winds, we could have, very, very cold temperatures down to -40, and it can be, really, really hot when you're trying to travel during the day. I'd have to pack and plan for all of those possibilities. When I leave my house to start this expedition, I'm not even going to be climbing for 3 more weeks. And so there's all this excitement, there's all this anticipation, there's all this preparation, but I still have to get to base camp. This season, I have this huge personal challenge, but I can't say that, if I achieve it or if I don't, that I'll be ready to sort of package up Everest as that part of my life and move on. It's become such an important part of who I am, and, I don't know. I think just like I approach almost everything else in my life, I'll know when I'm done. I'll know when it's time to immerse myself in something else. I still feel I have knowledge to gain and gratitude to give, and I'm just not done yet. That's the last time I'll see my house until June. My house is about to become a tent. It's a little smaller, but just as comfortable.